Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So hello dear friends, welcome back to NPTEL online course on logistics and supply chain management. So in the last couple of sessions we started discussion on lean logistics, and we discussed various aspects of lean logistics. We started discussion on implementing lean logistics through various methodologies and framework, and in that we discussed we will discuss about the challenges also and one case study. So here we will discuss the second approach which we can use for implementing lean logistics is the DMAC approach, and like I told you that the methodology is used to implement 6 sigma in your process, so that we can reduce the defects only up to 3.4 per million opportunity, that is 6 sigma. Okay, so how we can achieve that accuracy level is you need to define what you are doing as a process, you need to measure that, right? Then again you need to analyze how you are doing, is there any deviation from the actual plan, right? Where the bottlenecks are, or where the problems you are facing related to delivery, related to wrong product shipment, related to wrong order recording, related to packaging, damaged during shipment, right? Related to anything. So that you need to analyze how we can improve that, whether we need to improve the technology so that we can share exact information coming from the customer. If customer is giving you some requirements that when you will prepare the food, maybe the spicy related to it should be less spicy, right? So then those instructions should be exactly supplied to your kitchen, right? So how you can ensure with better visibility and traceability throughout the distribution network. So then you need to control it. After improving, again you will see how it is moving, and then whether it is going as per the expectations, you improved something. So maybe new technology, you need to analyze whether it is going as per that or not, right? So first is define phase. You will define scope, goal and financial performance targets where you want to improve. We want to improve the recording the orders process. So when we are recording the order, some customer information is missing, so that's why we are not able to provide the exact services required by the customer. Then measure the phase. What is the current state of performance? How many times we are recording wrong orders, right? And what are the reasons, right? We need to identify the root cause, why that is happening. So we need to understand the complete cycle from customer, their order is coming to, let's say, Zomato, right? Zomato is again sharing this information with the restaurant. Restaurant again sharing information with the courier partner that now the product is ready to be shipped, and then it is finally reaching to the customer. Now this information should be shared with the Zomato and with restaurant as well and with the courier partner as well, right? So if I am saying that it should be less spicy, that information is very important for the restaurant. If I am sharing that I am placing the order right now, but I don't want within 30 minutes, if your policy says it will be delivered within 30 minutes, because maybe I will be free late by my office, right? So after 1 hour 30 minutes you deliver me this product, right? So then that information is required for courier partner. How I can at that time I can utilize that, and maybe I can deliver some other orders, right? So that information you need to share. Improve phase, how you can design the process in a better way. Information sharing, that means the platform you are designing, how all the stakeholders can be included in that platform. Or if you are coming with the new processes, maybe you need to change the recipe, how you are preparing the food. Then you also include those KPIs in your process improvement part, right? And then control phase will happen when you will actually track the performance indicators and with your actual output, how you are doing that, and you will see is there any deviation, right? Means your this actual output, whatever you are doing, whatever your standards were, then you will see is there any deviation. Is there any deviation? Yes. No, that means you are doing perfectly fine. Yes, then you need to change again the process from where your actual output is coming out, right? So that way you need to plan the control phase and you need to review the performance again and again. So another lean logistics tool is just in time approach. This is because we want to get rid of managing the inventory, storing the inventory, and then while storing the inventory we saw that we are damaging sometimes, and sometimes inventory is expiring in the stock only, right? So to avoid all those issues, can we go for a kind of system where directly raw material is coming to the production lines and it is streamlined with the production process, and that production is happening and packaging is done and then move to the final dispatch center from where the from to different market locations the final product can be shipped. So how this will happen? If we are able to implement this, so this will not eliminate the waste in the inventory. This will also improve the quality. Why quality will be improved? Because when you are keeping the inventory in your warehouse, obviously at that time, because when handling is involved, you are transporting from here to there, keeping again to other point location, and then maybe on 100th day you are processing it to the production line, right? In that way quality will be degraded, right? And if you are talking about some electronic appliances, electronic components you are using, and if those electronic components are left just like that for 100 days or maybe for 3 months, 4 months, so then you can imagine. So if fresh raw material coming and you are processing it on there is no match if you are talking about quality, right? So this will only happen when you have close coordination with your suppliers. And how that will happen? These are 8 steps. You need to design the process in that way where you can say the raw material is directly fed to your production lines, and you need to manage the overall quality of the system, right? It's not only quality of the product, your quality of work life, quality of equipment, quality of production floor, right? Quality of all the stakeholders involved in that process, right? And then pull Kanban. So Kanban production cards you can use, right? To just pull, you can break the order into small parts and then you can be assigning different responsibilities to different vendors as per the requirement. So then you need to establish strong vendor relationship, only then just in time will happen, and then fine tune the inventory. That means if you are not maintaining that minimum stock, you have to be very fine with forecasting, with predictive analytics, with your observing the customer buying behavior, their buying patterns, right? And if any fluctuations are there in the market because of any disruptions, those also you should consider while planning this. Otherwise just in time will not work, because if you planned some just in time way, on the way something goes wrong, there is strike, right? There is some maybe flood is there, maybe some natural disaster is there. So then how you will feed your production line? So that's why we always try to be safe and try to keep some inventory, right? But another very important thing when we are talking about the vendor relationship, can we develop 1 or 2 big vendors near to our manufacturing house so that we can feed them large orders, and they are also happy to set up their production units near to our production line, so that directly order can be, those raw material can be fed to the production line. And you need to develop those kind of skills and capabilities within house and with your stakeholders as well. Only then that streamline just in time will happen. Your starting with your recording the order from the customer, that channel should also be very strong. Then you cannot say that your regional sale team is collecting the data it is processed by district level, then it is processed by state level, then it is processed by regional level, then national level. This will not happen. Then how the quickly that information feedback is entered by the customer, how it quickly you can share throughout your network. So only then just in time is possible. And then you need to refine the product and processes as well. Product means the components. You need to design those components which can be ensured through just in time environment, right? So, and processes also, it should not be that one process is taking too long and the other process is waiting, right? That should also not happen. If that is happening, you need to define the process bottlenecks, right? And you need to remove those process bottlenecks. And in the end, the key performance indicators you will analyze using your JIT, how efficiently the orders are delivered, how quickly the orders are delivered, how efficiently you are recording the orders, how efficiently you are reducing the inventory cost, handling cost, damaging cost, going obsolete means expired inventory. In terms of that, you are managing that. So that also you can track that, and you can surely you will observe that improvement in the performance. So these all are the steps. Already I discussed about these steps. The next methodology is 5S approach. We discussed this approach in quality tools as well. So this simple concept here is Japanese concept, how we can keep our workstation sorted, okay, and so that it is not only sorted, it is clean, standardized, efficient, and safely we can operate there. We can reduce the accidents rates as well when we are saying that we are implementing 5S housekeeping approach, right? So again, this approach was initiated in Japan, and mostly these approaches have come from Japan only, because their production facilities are no match. So quickly, if you'll go through these steps, you can see first is sort. You need Siri, you need to sort the things like this, so that you need not to search where the key will be, where the Allen key will be, where the plucker will be, where the hammer will be, and then hammer also different size of hammers are there, key also different size of keys are there. So if all the time you are looking for your equipment, so that is wastage of time. So you might have seen when you go for your any service station for repairing your car or routine services, they usually try to arrange in that way so that easily you can identify. But this is one workstation. You just imagine the manufacturing facility where thousands of people are working, and one repetitive action you are doing. If for the day you are producing 50,000 products, so one person going to repeat his function, activity, whatever he is doing, approximately 50,000 times. So you just imagine 50,000 times you are just looking where is your hammer, where is your key, where is your screwdriver, right? So that cannot happen. Not only those equipments, even the supply, material, how you are keeping the material within the store. If you are looking for, so that in that way automated warehouses will help you to identify where the product is. You can just scan the code, will identify to locate the location, and you can easily pick that. Even if manually not, your robot will pick and will deliver on your production line. And we need to shine this, we need to maintain the cleanliness, and obviously in manufacturing, production, supply chain, standardization is something we want to achieve this stage as soon as possible, because once the process is standardized, we are relaxed that now we will be moving towards the productivity. We will be more efficient. We can reduce the cost. We can improve our margins, because now the rejection is also reduced, like we talked about the process rejection. And then in the end, we need to sustain that environment of continuous improvement. The next approach is Kaizen. Kaizen is actually, again, Kaizen is made up of two words, Kaizen. So change for improvement, right? So small steps improvement will be there. So the very basic function, if you see how we can do that, we need to plan first, then accordingly we will do that, we'll study the effects, and we'll continue that process if the effects are in the positive direction. See, the approach here is not continuous improvement, continual improvement, right? Kaizen focuses on continual improvement. What is the meaning? If I am targeting improvement, let's say this is 2% improvement, then first achieving this 2% improvement, I'll try to stabilize it for some time. Then again I'll go for again 1% improvement. I'll try to stabilize it again. Then again I'll go for 2% improvement. We'll stabilize here. So the best part, if you will talk about continuous improvement, continuously you are improving. So if you fail at this point, suddenly you will come down to 0, right? Again you need to abort the whole mission, and whatever you invested will be waste. But in this case, if you are failing here, you will be at least you have stabilized. So at least you have stabilized this stage. So that means still you are at, there is loss, you implemented, you tried something new, but that could not happen. So this is the Kaizen approach. Make it better, make it faster, make it cheaper. And the other very important characteristics when we talk about Kaizen projects is small steps improvement. So investment required to improve those small things is not huge in that way, right? And very small efforts are required from the employees as well. So in that way it is safe approach, right? You can see earlier how they were lubricating their gearbox with the oil. It was so difficult. Now after just small improvement, how much cost is there? Earlier it was very difficult to inspect the condition of the belt because it was completely covered. So just change in the design, how quickly you can do. You just imagine how long a person is taking when you are going for repairing your tire, and then if you are talking about F1 race, so only 5 seconds. 5 seconds are even more than for replacing all the 4 tires. And if in this case this is 5 to 10 minutes, no one is taking, minimum 30 minutes person is taking to replace the tire. So these small steps improvement, how we can, big picture, if you will see, the improvement will be very, very big. And this is obvious from this that improvement is big. Single minute exchange of die is very prominent concept we use in manufacturing, where we say that if you are doing any changeover, that should be done within less than 10 minutes, single digit minutes, right? So if you are changing die, so that is little technical die we are changing in the molding machines, right? Or simple, if you say, again, if you will take about the example of restaurant, if right now some person order for non-veg, the next person order for veg, and he is completely veg, right? So you need to clean and you need to change the things, the recipe and some ingredients, right? So when you are changing that, how quickly you are changing that? Or can we go for separate workstation for veg, for non-veg? And if you are going for that, is it cost efficient? Are we getting enough orders for veg or enough orders for non-veg? That also we need to take care. If not enough orders, so on single workstation only, oven only, we need to cook all the items. So how quickly we will change over? You just see Toyota Bolt maker, earlier they were taking 8 hours, now 58 seconds. You just imagine these small steps improvement, how much they are contributing. Mitsubishi, so 24 hours, 2.7 minutes. Hitachi die cast, earlier they were taking 75 minutes, now only 3 minutes. And HP IC insert, they were taking 30 minutes, now only 3 minutes. So this is the thing improvement you can see. What are the challenges? Obviously, culture resistance, that is always there, because whatever the current situation is going on, we are always happy with that. If I'll ask you to change your mentality even over something, the resistance is obvious, right? What we have been doing since last 10 years, that legacy, we are saying that we usually proudly say that last 30 years I am doing this, right? So even something better is coming, we try to resist initially. That is the basic nature of the human, right? But then we are talking about human will be replaced by the machines, right? By the robots. So even if you are changing morning, evening technology, they are not going to resist in that way. Lack of leadership commitments, because of initial resources investment is required. So in that way, your committed leadership is required. We have this kind of mentality where we have communication barriers, we are preventing collaboration, we have fear. What if we will fail? What if we will not be able to recover the initial investment cost, right? And then limited employee engagement. You believe me, most of the suggestion, 90% of the suggestion which we are talking about Kaizen, small step improvement, come from those people who are actually working on the production line, maybe illiterate people or maybe IT holders, they have some proficiency in technological courses, they have done that. The major improvements, suggestions are coming from them only. But if we are not engaging them, we are not making them comfortable that they are part of that organization, so that input will not get. And you visit any organization, so major improvement skills are coming, these suggestions are coming from the worker who is repetitively doing that activity for more than 50,000 times in one day. You just imagine the proficiency or the expertise he is having, because one single piece he is processing, if he is producing 50,000 units, so 50,000 times. So how we can keep those skills, motivate them, if we are providing them training, we are making them capable of thinking, we are making them fearless. You give us your suggestions, whatever, if we'll fail together, if we are rising, we'll rise together, right? So then we'll go for measurement and accountability. So suggestions maybe sometimes we are implementing, but then we need to track, right? It can go other way around also, but yes, then we cannot stop the thinking and we cannot stop the continuous improvement process. And when we are talking about lean manufacturing, so it is reducing the waste, obviously we are reducing the burden on the people as well working with us, planet as well, extracting the resources from the environment, and obviously profit will improve because we are reducing the cost of producing those goods. External factors are there as challenges, because how the external environment will change, technological position will change, will disturb your equation. Political scenario even will change, will disturb your equation. Global scenario will change. There is war between Ukraine and Russia. How the crude price, that oil price will go up, right? How you will, and if this is only the crude oil price and affecting almost every industry, not only transportation industry, because every industry is using transportation industry, right? So in that way, how resilient you are, your supply chain is, even something is going wrong in the external environment, how you can tap that, right? Or seek the opportunities. So if I'll compare lean and agile logistics, so lean is, we are focusing on reducing waste, in that way we want to be efficient, but in agile we want to be flexible. If my customer is asking in 10 minutes delivery, I'll send the private jet, I'll send the best possible way the service is, right? So that it should be delivered on time, if that much valued product is, right? But in lean logistics, we'll try to remove the waste. But here customer satisfaction, we are not, here the constraint is we are not discussing about the cost. If we are selling BMWs, Mercedes, we are not talking about the mileage. We are talking about the safety features. We are talking about Volvo, we are talking about safety. We are talking about the comfort, right? And here we are talking about the customer services, because you are not using Volvo, right? You are not using Mercedes. So then customer services will be compromised somewhere, right? But we are cost efficient, right? So long-term stability, obviously, but here there is nothing long-term, because we are working in the dynamic environment. So you cannot say that this is long-term. Productivity is main target, but here target is we are productive, we are taking the minimum time, giving you the best services. And if you are saying that I want BMW, I don't care about the cost, but interior how you will design, I want you to implement all my inputs. I want wooden work, I want AC facility here, there, I want this much boot space, I want that, all those things, how you want to design the interior carpet and all those things. So that flexibility your manufacturer is giving to you when you are at, we are talking about the agile logistics, right? And then here we talk about uniform standardized work, but here we cannot say that, because customer is part of your production process and he wants to contribute in that way. That's only agile. How agile we are, and we are providing, you say us, if you want one ice cream, will you give you one ice cream? If you will ask 1,000 ice creams, our distribution network is flexible enough to give you 1,000 ice creams as well, right? So in that way, we can just compare the lean logistics versus agile logistics. So now this beautiful case on Toyota production system, So based on only lean logistics concepts, although many concepts are implemented, earlier they were into spinning and weaving industry, and then so many concepts came from there. Very beautiful concept is judoka, we will discuss about that. And then they are known for their automobile contribution, whatever they are doing. And if we'll talk about the founders of Toyota production system, Taiichi Ohno and Shigeo Shigo, who contributed largely in their production system in terms of improving the quality, reducing the rejection, right? And they always pose their organization as very poor organization who cannot afford to produce something like waste. How? 7 principles of Toyota production system. Setup time should be minimum. Small lot production, right? If something goes wrong with the lot, so that only lot is spoiled, not the, if the lot size is big, so whole lot will be spoiled. That is the concept. Employee involvement, empowerment. So they are putting the suggestion box and motivating employees, giving reward who are coming with the good suggestions, right? So quality at source, they are not saying that within manufacturing you can maintain the quality. With your raw material suppliers, you need to equip your suppliers with the technology, and whatever design specification you want, you are always training your suppliers. So that is our extended hands. Those are very much part of, if we can cut the cost at the initial stage, we can cut the cost throughout the network. Equipment maintenance, how we can ensure the predictive maintenance. It should not be like something goes wrong, then your maintenance team is working on that. How we can be very useful with the predictive maintenance. Before something goes wrong, we should predict it. Pull production system, let the order come, then we'll provide the order to the customer. And supplier involvement, already we talked about. This is the complete Toyota production system, or the quality house you can say, where the highest quality, lowest cost, shortest lead time by eliminating all the waste. So these quality, cost, lead time, these 3 focuses, and how you can do that? By eliminating all the waste. So what is the foundation of this house? The foundation are these concept: Hijunka, standard work, total productive maintenance, and value chain, right? So, and just in time, these are the pillar. Just in time and judoka are the pillar, and then continuous improvement environment they are providing within the organization. We'll go with these steps, these processes one by one. See, continuous flow of material, right? How you can ensure that? How you, Hijunka is how you are ensuring the evenness. We talked about unevenness when we talked about Mura, Muri, Muda, right? So unevenness is creating Muda or sometimes overburden. You did not do anything for first 2 days, third day you are overburdened, that is obvious. So that will ensure how smooth supply, how many products are required, those many are shipped from the raw material and it is coming to your warehouse. These many, maybe these are 20, only 20 items are required, 20 components we are fixing, right? So we know how much time is required, and then in the end we produced 20 products and finally we shipped 20 products in the market. So this is continuous streamlined flow. We are not maintaining extra inventory that we can be short of this inventory, let us maintain this 50 and these are only 20, right? So wooden sticks are only 20. So and let's say take iron hammer 30 or 50, right? So that means that inventory is mismatching. Anyhow, without that you cannot do that. How this is happening? You are not ensuring make one, move one. So then the extra time you are consuming. Let us take the batch production system where we are producing in batches. So first batch is processed, then it will be passed. It's not that one product is produced and will be passed to the next stage. So you see just this one example, this batch process, this process requires 3 steps, step 1, 2 and 3. So first step is taking 10 minutes. So whole batch will be passed to the second stage. Then 10 minutes, that means 20 minutes. Then whole batch will be passed. It's not single item is passed, right? Whole batch will be passed to the third stage. Now, after first minute of third stage, my first product will be out. That means it will take 21 minutes minimum to produce the first product, right? Because 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, then the complete lot is coming here. I will start processing in the very first minute, I will produce the first one. So 21 minutes. But if I will see here, first minute, 1 minute is we are taking on the first stage, it is moved to the next stage, 1 minute is taken there, moved to the next stage, and on the third stage again 1 minute is required. So after 3 minutes your first product is ready. So how we can ensure the continuous flow processing? They implemented this scenario in their Toyota production system. Just in time, they implemented just in time, and this was done by Kichiro Toyota in 1937, and they said that we are poor company, we cannot afford waste, right? So how we can do that? We need to collaborate with our stakeholders, raw material suppliers in that way. So whenever it is required, it can be shipped to our production lines. So after World War II, Mr. Taichi Ono, so who was working in spinning and weaving industry, right? So there they implemented this concept of just in time and Jidoka. I will tell you, in spinning industry, then he was transferred to automobile industry to improve the quality of the product. So in spinning industry, what was happening? Let's say when in the spinning machine, so many different threads used to come. The quality of the cloth, you can check how many threads are there in each thread, right? So usually 24 threads, 42, 64, like this 98 threads. So many threads are there means quality will improve, right? So many threads are coming, and in the weaving machine, spinning machine, we are coming up with the one piece of cloth continuously flowing. Let's say in between one thread is broken. So that means in the complete cloth, there will be one line, because that thread is not now captured by the weaving machine, by the spinning machine. So this Taichi Ono, he discovered this concept of Jidoka. If something goes wrong at this point and thread is broken, at the same point of time your machine will stop working, right? So this is Jidoka. So this piece of cloth may be 100 meters you produce, right? And that piece of thread was broken maybe after 20 meters. So even then you kept on producing rest of the 80 meters cloth, which is now waste. So can we do something? Whenever the defect was detected, there only your machine should stop working. That's it. That is Jidoka. So they implemented this Jidoka, and later on they tried to implement this from their weaving industry to automobile industry. Pokayoke is another concept where they implemented this, that even if you want to do some mistakes intentionally, even then you cannot do that. Very good example of this can be, let's say if you are very new with the computer, I will give you keyboard, mouse, CPU, UPS, screen, all the accessories, pen drive, and I will just ask you, you plug in all the wires required, power cables, data cables and all this. So even if you are doing very first time, even then you cannot do the mistake, because the jack designed there are designed in that way, power cable will go into power plug only, data cable will go into data point only, right? So the jack is designed in that way where intentionally you cannot, even if you want to commit the mistake, you cannot do that. So these two concepts, Jidoka and Pokayoke, now in the industries, manufacturing industries used like anything, and your services industry also are implementing. Then end system. So this is a kind of indication board where you can just indicate if there is any problem at any stage. Let's say 100 stages are there on the production line, something goes wrong on production stage 3rd, so there will be red light. If the problem appeared, so then the yellow light will be there. Everything is going perfectly fine, green light will be there. So immediately our attention will come to the end board that if something goes wrong, whole production system will stop. This is Pokayoke I was talking about. See, even if you want to fix this here, you cannot fix, because the system design, product design is of that nature. So you can just see, I talked about this CPU system, how you can plug the wires. So that is a kind of Pokayoke system. This is another approach used by Toyota production system, Gemba. First is Genchi Gonbutsu, go and see. If there is any defect, you need to visit that stage and then you need to observe that, why that happened. And then you need to ask 5 whys. you need to find out the root cause. That means 5 whys we asked in fishbone diagram. Why that happened, we'll go to the root cause of that problem, and then we'll try to discover form of waste by identifying muda, muri, mura, unevenness, overburden is there, or waste you are producing. Respectful, whatever you are doing, do it as a team, and that togetherness spirit should be there. And analysis, once you are doing collecting the data, you are collecting data related to defect, why that happened, you should include the stakeholders who are working on that stage, right. So that also they included in this program. This is Hijunka, we talked about how you can smooth the production process. Here you can see person 1 is working on assembly line, and the second person is waiting, and third is also waiting. They are doing something here on maybe in one stage. How you can ensure your production streamline, you can streamline the whole production so that everyone is having something to do. That will only happen when, if the first stage is requires 5 seconds, your next stage you are designing in the production assembly process, that should also take somewhere around 5 seconds, right. If it is taking 7 seconds, 8 seconds, so there will be semi-finished product inventory, so he will not be able to process that because there will be huge pile of that unprocessed product on that stage, right. So you need to streamline the process in that way. This concept of streamlining the process, smoothing the production, is known as Hijunka, which is the base of Toyota production system. Kaizen already I talked about. In small steps, Toyota production system started working. Everybody, every day, everywhere. It's not only with the process, with the equipment as well, with the person as well. You need to improve every day. And then standardization. If you will do standardization, tech time, we calculate tech time by your production time you are having, and then the demand from the market, right. So how quickly you are producing and meeting the demand, that is the idea you can get by calculating the tech time. Working sequence, how sequentially, I told you in workflow, one piece one time. Standard in process stock, that much inventory which is required to ensure the minimum tech time and work sequence can be maintained. So it should not be like that for your first stage you are waiting for the raw material. So that should not happen. So standardization is a critical ingredient for Jidoka and just-in-time system, which is quite obvious, because if you are maintaining that, only then you can ensure the smooth flow of the raw material. If you see performance, so when they started somewhere here, they started implementing Toyota production system, that house of quality, Hijunka, Jidoka, Poka-yoke, where they identified the fault. You can see with other players the performance, how they improved, right. So, and this is you can see 80% increase in per head production. Earlier they were producing 39.7 vehicles per person. Now after implementing this system in late 80s, near about 71 vehicles per person. And if you talk about operation income, this is how they have improved, you see. And this is the era when they implemented Toyota production system, house of quality, right. And now you see some figures are given here. Earlier this US market, Ford and GM, General Motors, they were capturing the whole market, and this is quite obvious that 40% chunk of US car and light trucks market GM was carrying, right, but Toyota was carrying only 2%. But then you see after implementing in 80s this TPS, they improved 3%, then 8% in 90s, then 9% in 2000, and then more than 10% in 2006, and the share rose to 13%, where GM share fell down to 26%. So slowly, gradually, steadily, this is the baseline if we will try to define the Toyota production system. So this is how you can see small step improvement led to big improvement in the overall production system. So this is all about your lean logistics, how we can reduce the defects, how we can enhance the efficiency of value adding activities by reducing the non value adding activities. So these are the references and some textbooks you can refer for your detailed study. So thank you very much.